Let me tell you a story that will challenge everything you think you know about wealth, poverty, and the invisible rules that govern our society. This is about becoming a wealthy rebel, someone who dares to break free from the mental chains that keep most people trapped in financial mediocrity. Picture this scenario. You walk into a room full of people discussing their financial struggles. They complain about bills, talk about how expensive everything is, and share stories about barely making ends meet. Now imagine you're the person in that room who has figured out how to create wealth, who has broken free from those limitations. Suddenly, you become the outsider. You become the rebel. But here's the twist that most people don't understand. The real rebellion isn't just about making money. It's about challenging the deeply ingrained beliefs and social norms that tell us poverty is noble, that struggling financially is somehow more authentic, and that wanting wealth makes you greedy or selfish. Society has created what I call poverty norms. These are unspoken rules that keep people comfortable with financial limitation. They sound like this: money doesn't buy happiness, rich people are evil, you should be grateful for what you have, wanting more is selfish, hard work always pays off eventually, and money changes people for the worse. These poverty norms are everywhere. They're in our conversations, our media, our educational systems, and even in our families. They create a psychological comfort zone around financial struggle that makes breaking free feel like betrayal. Think about the last time someone around you started making significantly more money or achieved financial success. What was the reaction? Often, it's a mixture of congratulations mixed with subtle resentment, jokes about them becoming different, or comments about how money will change them. This social pressure is incredibly powerful because humans are wired to belong to their tribe. The wealthy rebel understands something crucial: these poverty norms are not natural laws. They're social constructs that serve to maintain the status quo. When you challenge them, you're not just changing your bank account, you're fundamentally altering your relationship with society itself. Let me share what this looks like in practice. The wealthy rebel stops apologizing for wanting more. While others say they just want enough to get by, the rebel openly declares their intention to create abundance. This makes people uncomfortable because it challenges the collective agreement that wanting more is somehow wrong. The wealthy rebel invests in themselves when others think it's wasteful. They'll spend money on education, coaching, or business opportunities while others criticize them for not being practical. They understand that the biggest risk is not investing in their own growth and potential. The wealthy rebel thinks in terms of value creation rather than time trading. While society teaches us to exchange hours for dollars, the rebel focuses on creating systems, building assets, and solving problems at scale. This fundamental shift in thinking separates them from the conventional approach to earning money. The wealthy rebel embraces calculated risks while others seek security. They understand that true security comes from their ability to create value and generate income, not from depending on a single employer or following a predetermined path that promises safety but delivers limitation. Here's where it gets really interesting. The wealthy rebel doesn't just challenge external poverty norms, they wage war against their own internal programming. They recognize that they've been conditioned since childhood to accept financial limitation as normal and even virtuous. This internal rebellion requires examining every belief about money that feels true and comfortable. It means questioning why you feel guilty when you have more than others, why you downplay your success, why you feel the need to justify your financial goals, and why you sometimes sabotage your own progress when things start going too well. The process of becoming a wealthy rebel often involves what I call identity shifting. You have to be willing to become someone different from who you've been. This is terrifying for most people because our identity feels like who we really are. But the truth is, your current identity was largely shaped by external forces, including those poverty norms we've been discussing. Let me tell you about the resistance you'll face. When you start challenging poverty norms, the pushback comes from everywhere. Family members will worry that you're becoming materialistic. Friends will make jokes about your ambitions. Colleagues will question your priorities. Even strangers will have opinions about your choices. This resistance serves a psychological function for others. Your success challenges their own limitations and excuses. If you can break free from financial struggle, it means they could too, and that's a responsibility many people don't want to face. It's easier to maintain that wealth is impossible, unfair, or corrupting than to admit they could change their circumstances. The wealthy rebel learns to navigate this resistance without becoming isolated or bitter. They understand that not everyone will support their journey, and that's okay. They build new relationships with people who share their growth mindset while maintaining love and respect for those who don't understand their path. One of the most powerful aspects of being a wealthy rebel is the ripple effect it creates. When you break free from poverty norms, you give others permission to question their own limitations. Your success becomes proof that alternative paths are possible. You become a living example that challenges the collective agreement about what's realistic or achievable. But this influence comes with responsibility. The wealthy rebel understands that their success isn't just about personal gain. It's about demonstrating what's possible and creating value for others. They use their resources and influence to lift others up, not to separate themselves from the struggles they've overcome. The wealthy rebel also challenges the notion that you have to choose between financial success and personal values. Society often presents this as a binary choice: you can either be a good person who struggles financially, or a wealthy person who compromises their integrity. The rebel rejects this false dichotomy entirely. Instead, they prove that wealth can be a tool for expressing your values more fully. With financial freedom comes the ability to be more generous, to support causes you believe in, to take care of your family without stress, and to pursue meaningful work without being constrained by immediate financial needs. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of challenging poverty norms: redefining what wealth actually means. Society often defines wealth in terms of luxury consumption or status symbols. The wealthy rebel understands that true wealth is about freedom, options, and the ability to make choices based on what you value rather than what you can afford. The wealthy rebel measures success differently. Instead of just looking at net worth, they consider their freedom of choice, their ability to impact others positively, their level of stress about money, their capacity for generosity, and their alignment between their values and their actions. This redefinition is crucial because it prevents the wealthy rebel from falling into the trap of pursuing money for its own sake. They maintain perspective about why financial success matters and how it serves their larger purpose in life. The path of the wealthy rebel isn't always easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. It requires courage to stand apart from social norms, wisdom to navigate the challenges that come with success, and compassion for those who don't understand your journey. The wealthy rebel also develops what I call abundance thinking. Instead of seeing wealth as a limited resource that must be hoarded or fought over, they understand that value creation expands the pie for everyone. They look for win-win opportunities and understand that their success doesn't require others to fail. This abundance mindset extends beyond money to all areas of life. The wealthy rebel believes there are enough opportunities, enough resources, and enough success to go around. This belief becomes self-fulfilling as it leads to collaborative approaches and generous behaviors that create even more opportunities. As we near the end of our exploration, let me challenge you directly. What poverty norms are you accepting in your own life? What beliefs about money and success are you holding that might be limiting your potential? What would you do differently if you truly believed that wealth was not only possible for you but was actually a way to express your values and serve others? The journey of the wealthy rebel begins with a single decision: the decision to question everything you've been taught about money, success, and what's possible for your life. It continues with the courage to act on new beliefs even when others don't understand or support your choices. Remember, being a wealthy rebel isn't about rebelling against people, it's about rebelling against limiting ideas. It's about choosing growth over comfort, possibility over security, and impact over acceptance. It's about becoming the person who proves that another way is possible. The world needs more wealthy rebels. It needs people who challenge the assumption that financial struggle is inevitable or noble. It needs individuals who demonstrate that wealth can be created ethically and used purposefully. It needs examples of what's possible when someone decides to break free from the invisible chains of poverty norms. Your rebellion starts now, with your next thought, your next decision, your next action. The question isn't whether you can become wealthy, it's whether you're brave enough to challenge the norms that say you shouldn't even try. The wealthy rebel's path is calling you. The only question is, will you answer?